Hi, everybody. It's Deborah from peoplelovinganimals.com. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching my video today. Today's video is called How to Stop a Dog from Pulling on the Leash or Pulling on the Lead, if some people call it a lead. I just want to go ahead and tell you that we are on my website now called peoplelovinganimals.com. It's a website devoted to the care of dogs and cats, everything from training to health issues, behavioral issues, all that sort of thing. And I've written dozens, actually hundreds of articles on my website, all regarding the care and training of dogs and cats. And this article we're using is called How to Stop My Dog from Pulling on the Lead, Tips from a Professional Dog Trainer. Now, I'm not going to read you this article. I'm just using this article from my website kind of as a guide for today's video. In the description box for this video, I'm going to give you the link to this article. So you can visit my website, you can go on there, you can read this article, you can click on the links in it. And you can also get lots more information. I have a whole category called dog training on my website, and there are, like I say, there are hundreds of articles on my website and many videos as well on my website and also on this YouTube channel that can help you. Now, let me give you an idea what to expect. In this video, I'm going to give you some specific tips, some specific training techniques to help you to get your dog from stop pulling on the leash. And then I'm also going to give you a link to a resource for a professional dog training website that's super inexpensive that you can go to for more help, and also you can go to for any other dog training issues that you might be having. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to have a free gift for you. So if you'll stick with me to the end, I'm going to have a free gift for you that's going to help you with dog training. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. How to stop my dog from pulling on the lead. The first thing you need to understand if your dog is pulling on the leash is that it has more to do with him thinking he's in charge. I do talk a lot on my website about pack leader training, about getting your dog to realize that you're in charge, and it really is the best way to solve this problem, and really any dog behavior problem, is if you can get your dog to see you as the one in charge. Okay, that's what is the most effective thing. Now, there are other things that you can do. I'm going to talk about that in this video, but I'm going to tell you about Doggy Dan. Doggy Dan, here he is. He has the online dog training website called the Online Dog Trainer, where there's more than 300 videos done by Doggy Dan. He's a professional dog trainer and a behavioral specialist, and he actually works with dogs on the website. You get to actually see him training the dog. So in my mind, it's the best way to get professional dog training. I'm going to give you the information later in the video and also in the description box for this video. Like I said, I do give you the link to this article in the description box of this video, so you're going to be able to click in here. You're going to be able to click on this link. This is a video of Doggy Dan working with this dog, training him how to walk on the leash. Okay, so like I told you in the beginning, I'm going to give you some specific tips in this video, but I also am referring you to Doggy Dan because he can give you a lot more help and a lot more instruction than I can. And like I say, there's no better way to learn how to train your dog than to watch a professional dog trainer do it. So like I said, you can click on this article, you can go in here, you can watch this video. Now, you'll know if there's a problem. If you find yourself having to correct your dog on the walk many times, then obviously there's something wrong. Getting your dog to walk nicely on a leash, it's more than just leash training. You have to convince them that you're the pack leader. You have to convince the dog that you're the one in charge. And I always laugh when I see people, especially if it's like a tiny little woman and she's walking a huge dog, and it's like, she's not walking the dog, the dog's walking her. That is a dog who thinks that he's in charge. He's taking her for a walk. He's like, hey, let's go here, let's go there. He thinks he's in charge, and he's literally pulling this person around. It really is more of a psychological battle than a physical one. In other words, what your dog's pulling on the leash, it's because he thinks he's in charge. He thinks he's the leader. He thinks he's in charge of where you're going next. And he's just frustrated trying to get you to follow him. He's trying to get you to follow him. Thus the pulling. Well, you got to reverse that process. It's the only way that you're going to be able to get him to walk on the leash. And it's not a matter of, physically pulling. I always hate when I see people yanking on a dog, to try to get them. Like I say, it's more of a psychological battle than a physical one. And wouldn't you rather convince the dog to let you be the leader than to physically have to pull on your dog all the time and to try to win the battle physically? Believe me, it's a lot easier if you win the psychological battle than you don't have to do the physical stuff. Okay. Now, in this article, you're going to see another link to another article on my website, How to Become a Pack Leader, How to Get Control of Your Dog. You can read that article as well. But again, it's going to refer you to Doggy Dan. It's going to refer you to the pack leader training that Doggy Dan does. And I'm always going to refer you back when we're talking about dog training to getting your dog to understand that you're in charge and getting your dog to understand that you're the decision maker. And it's much better for the dog because when the dog sees you as the pack leader, it relieves their stress. They don't have to be the leader. They don't have to. They can just relax and follow you. And dogs are pack animals. They do like to follow. So it's actually more relaxing for your dog. And obviously, it's more relaxing for you once you're able to accomplish it. And not only will dog walks be easier for you, but virtually absolutely everything else having to do with dog behavior is going to be easier for you. Now, here's some tips to try before you even venture out on the walk. Um, Again, like I said, you're trying to teach your dog to follow you. So before you get ready to go on the walk, first walk around the house, go around tables, furniture, encourage the dog to follow you. And if he pulls out in front of you, then change your direction and leave the dog behind. Now, what you want to do is get the dog to follow you around the house. Now, if you can do that just talking sweetly to them or, giving them pats on the head, encouragement, if you need to break up a little milk bone and have just little pieces of treats in your pocket, whatever you have to do to get the dog to follow you around the house, that's a really good first step because you're literally teaching the dog to follow you. And if you're giving him little pieces of treats or if you're giving him pats on the head, if you're talking sweetly to him, just spending time with you, because in case you haven't noticed, dog's whole purpose in life is to spend time with us. That's what they want to do. That's what makes them happy. So just the fact that you're giving him your attention. And the whole point of this exercise is to make following you pleasant for your dog. You want him to start to associate, if I follow her, I get pats on the head, I get sweet talks, I get treats. Make following you a positive experience for your dog. And so when you walk out the door on the walk, if you're doing this regularly, your dog begins to learn that it's to his benefit to follow you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you're teaching him through repetitive action to follow you. Um, Also, when you're bringing out your dog's leash, wait a little bit before you go on the walk. Especially if you have a dog who gets super excited whenever they see the leash, that's not the best time to walk out the door. Wait till he calms down. Wait till he gets a hold of himself, before you walk out on the leash. I had a miniature dachshund. She's so cute. As a matter of fact, here she is at the front page of my website here. Here she is. Her name is Taz. That little dog liked walks so much. I couldn't even put my sneakers on until I was ready to walk out the door, because when she saw my sneakers, she knew that was the walk, and she was ridiculous. She was so excited. So I had to wait until I was literally ready to walk out the door before I could even get my sneakers out, let alone put them on. So you need to take control of that situation. Get the leash out. And just throw it on the floor. Like, let the dog see it, but then don't go for the walk. Just get the leash out, throw it on the floor, throw it on the couch or whatever, and wait until he calms down. You might also want to occasionally get the leash out, throw it on the floor, let him see it, but then never go for the walk. Do you see what I mean? You got to break that cycle of this ridiculous excitement whenever he sees the leash. And you should never leave the house when your dog is that excited. Let some time pass, let him calm down a little before you actually venture out. And that's just going to help you in general on your dog's behavior while you're out on the walk. While you're out on the walk, if your dog lags behind you, because a lot of people have troubles with their dog on the leash, and it's not so much that he's pulling, but the dog won't follow. He doesn't want to walk or whatever. Well, first of all, obviously, always consider a medical condition, especially if you have an elderly dog. If your dog doesn't want to walk on the walk, just always be aware that they may be having a problem. Okay, and never force an elderly dog to walk more than they want to. Always let them sit and rest when they need to. But if it's not, like a physical problem and the dog just won't follow you, then hold the leash firmly for about 10 seconds, call him, and you're holding it, and he'll have no choice but to come. What's he going to do? Sit there on the sidewalk all day? But then make sure you give him positive and a positive affirmation when he does follow you. And also, while you're on the walk, whenever you're doing any kind of dog training exercise, whenever your dog is doing what you want him to do, make sure you're rewarding him. Make sure you're giving him an attaboy, pat on the head, sweet talk, little treats. Always, that's how you reinforce good dog behavior, is whenever they're doing something that's good, give them positive reinforcement, because again, what that does is it makes them, through repetition, it teaches them, if I do this, it's a positive experience for me. Do you see? So you always want to make sure that you do that. Whenever you come across doorways or narrow pathways on a walk, you should always walk through first. And you can practice this at home with your dog too. Like when you're doing the exercises where you're having him follow you around the house, go in and out of bedrooms, doors, and things, and go ahead of him. Always go ahead of him, so that again, you're teaching him to follow you. And what happens is he begins to see you as the pack leader. He begins to see you as the leader. um Also, if you walk, say, through a doorway first and he lets you walk through first, give him a treat, give him the positive encouragement. Again, you want him following you to always be a consistent positive experience for him. And that's one of the ways you can do it. When you're walking through the house, walking through bedroom doors, when you're out on the walk and you have to walk through a path, or you got to walk around a car, or you got to anywhere to walk, you go out ahead. Okay, now if your dog goes in front of you, then go in a completely different direction. If your dog is pulling out in front of you, whether it's while you're practicing in the house or if you're out on the walk, you have to make that a negative experience for him. And I don't mean hitting him. Never hit your dog. Never yank on the chain. Never yank. I hate when people yank on a leash. But just make it a negative experience, because, like, for example, if he pulls out in front of you and he wants to go here, you change the direction completely and abruptly, and he's like, okay, that didn't work out for me. Do you know what I mean? So you just need to have it be a pleasant experience when you're the leader. Also, just as an aside, I do strongly recommend that instead of a collar, that you put your dog on a harness. In the description box for this video, I'm going to give you the link to go to Amazon and you'll see a variety of different dog harnesses. They aren't that expensive. I mention this for a couple of reasons. One is it's much better to control a dog on the walk if he's got a harness instead of a collar. You've got much more control. Okay, so that really is step one if you're having trouble with your dog on the leash. Get them in a harness instead of the collar. It's going to be more effective. You've got more control of the dog. Also, if you ever had to pull your dog out in front of a car or something, do you know what I mean? Like if you ever had to yank on the dog to, like, for example, I had a miniature dachshund. Well, same dachshund, Taz, that I showed you in the picture. I live near the Niagara River, and we were walking down River Road, and we were walking down the road, and she was on the leash, but it was one of those retractable leashes that goes long and short. She spotted a squirrel and bolted right into the road, right into the road. She bolted. It was 1 second. So I snagged her on that leash, like a fish on a fishing pole. I yanked her back. Now, it seems cruel that I yanked this dog, but I literally saved her life. She bolted out into the street. But thank God I had her on a harness, not on a collar. Honestly, I jerked her so hard I could have broken the dog's neck if I had her on the collar. Do you see what I mean? She could have been seriously injured, but because I had her on a harness, I was able to yank her out of danger. She was literally in danger. Also, if you have a dog that maybe gets in fights with other dogs or whatever, I just like the harness better because you can pull the dog away without choking them, without hurting them, and you have more control over the dog. The other reason I'm mentioning a harness is because that same little dog, Taz, she ended up with a collapsed trachea. You know how if a dog, they're pulling on the leash and they do that gasping coughing thing? Their trachea has actually been smushed in and it's literally closing off their air tube. By the way, if that happens and your dog is doing that, the best thing to do is just to sit down with the dog, speak in a calm voice. I used to rub this very gently for Taz. I would rub and I would say, breathe, breathe. If you can get them to relax, that trachea will open back up and they'll be able to breathe again. But it's a very dangerous situation. So if you have a dog that's pulling on the leash, and constantly pressure with that collar, over the years, they're going to develop a collapsed trachea, which, number one, obviously they can't breathe when the thing is smushed in. So it's just not good for them. Also, the vet told me that if it gets too bad, like, eventually, if the thing will not open up and the dog can't breathe, they could end up having emergency surgery where the vet has to put a stent down there to physically open that air tube and keep it open. So it could be an expensive surgery, for your dog, and your dog can die from it because if that trachea collapses and you can't get it back to open up and you don't get them to the vet fast enough, the dog could literally die from that. Okay, so there's just a million good reasons to have your dog on a harness instead of a collar. So again, I'm going to give you the link in the description box. Go to Amazon. You can see the different sizes, measurements, and stuff. They aren't expensive. I had a couple different harnesses for Taz. Let's see if she's in her harness in the picture so you can see. Yeah, see? She has this little purple harness on. See? I got that either off of Amazon or eBay. I probably bought it from Amazon. They were very inexpensive. She had 2 or 3 of them. You could throw them in the wash. They're really nice. I really do recommend a harness. So I'm sorry that was a big interruption, but it's an important point. Let's see where we are here. So again, you're going to be getting your dog to follow you around. So that's the best advice I can give you as far as getting your dog to stop pulling on the leash is to do the pack leader training with them. You have to, like I said, it's more of a psychological battle than it is a physical one. You have to somehow teach your dog, convince your dog to let you be the leader. And the way that you do that is you start by practicing in the house and you make following you a positive experience for your dog. Now, that is what I've just given you is a very abbreviated, elementary version of training your dog not to pull on the leash that I learned from Doggy Dan at the online dog trainer. So I am going to suggest to you that number one, you click into this article. I'm giving you the link in the description box and go ahead and watch this video of Doggy Dan working with this dog on a leash. And then for Doggy Dan's website, it's called the Online Dog Trainer. I'm giving you the links to it. They have a 3-day trial for $1. Like I said, there's more than 300 videos on that website of Doggy Dan actually training dogs. And it's every dog behavioral issue you could possibly think of. How to stop your dog from barking, pulling on the leash, dog aggression, potty training, jumping on people, absolutely every dog training issue you can think of. Doggy Dan has a video, and again, it's him working with a dog. There's a lot of videos that he goes into people's houses and he works with people, the dog owners and the dog, and that's what it is. Well, he does have a $1 trial where you can go in for $1. You can have 3 full days on the website where you have unlimited access. You can watch as many videos as you want for the 3 days. All right. And then if you decide to continue, you can get a monthly membership That's $37 a month. You can cancel it at any time. So if you just needed more time, you could pay the 1 month's fee, and then you have a whole month to look at all the videos. He does have a 6-month program that ends up being cheaper. And so if you have, well, first of all, if you have a puppy, it's really a good idea to go ahead and get the 6-month membership to Doggy Dan's website, because he has a whole puppy training um, series called Project Moses, where he's training his little beagle puppy Moses. If you have a new dog, if you have a problem dog, if you have a problem with your dog, if you're just learning house training, if you have a problem with an aggressive dog, if you have a dog with a lot of behavioral issues, I think you're going to want to go ahead and sign up for the membership at Doggy Dan's website and go through all the videos and do all the practices with your dog and get your dog trained. It really is a good resource. The videos are easy to understand. They're easy to follow. They're fun to watch. I love just watching Doggy Dan work with dogs. I think it's really cool. And I've just learned so much. And it's really, really effective dog training. So again, I'm giving you the link to that. A couple of things before we go. Um, I donate to animal charities. I am an affiliate marketer. I have several websites. PeopleLovingAnimals.com is one of my biggest websites. And what I do is I research topics regarding dogs and cats for this website. And I research products and services that help people with their dogs and cats. For example, Doggy Dan, the online dog trainer. So, and then I write articles that help people. Like, for example, I research the topic, how to get your dog to stop peeing on the rug, how to get your dog to stop pulling on the leash, how to get your cat to use the litter box. I research, I only get my information from credible sources. And then I write articles that have all these tips for people on how to do that. And then I will recommend products and services. Like, for example, in this article, I'm recommending Doggy Dan. And I do get paid when people purchase those products and services. It's called affiliate marketing. I'm an affiliate for those companies. And so I research companies, I pick out the ones that I think are the best, and then I become an affiliate for that company, and then I promote that company on my website. So just kind of a little disclaimer there. I do get a commission if you purchase a membership with Doggy Dan. And I give 10% of all of the commissions that I earn on my PeopleLovingAnimals.com website to animal charities. And when you're on my website, I'll give you a link here that you can click. You can also see on the homepage of my website the list of animal charities that I donate to. So if you make any purchase on my website, even if you use my link to go and purchase a harness for your dog, just know that 10% of that commission that I earn on that goes to animal charities. Now, also on my website, I do have, here's an article for more articles about dog training. Click here. Like I said, there's lots of information about all kinds of dog training issues on my website. Also on this YouTube channel, I do at least one video a week, sometimes a couple of videos a week, all about dog training and also cat training. I have a lot on my website and on my YouTube channel about dog training. Also, let's just talk for just 1 second. Like I say, down in the description box of the video, I'm going to give you the link to this article. So you can go here and, for example, you'll be able to watch that video from Doggy Dan. I'm also going to give you a link to go ahead and get that $1 3-day trial for Doggy Dan. I'm also going to give you a link for my full review of the online dog training website. And as promised, I'm going to give you a free gift. If you look in the description box for the sentence, it'll be in all capital letters, grab your free gift here. You click on that, you give me your email, and I will send you a free dog training manual. It's written by Doggy Dan, and it's a really great PDF. It's a long dog training book written by Doggy Dan, and so you'll be able to get that, and you'll be able to get a lot of dog training advice just from that free dog training manual. Now, when you sign up for that, you're also signing up for my dog lovers email list. And once you're on the dog lovers email list, every 5 or 7 days, you'll get an email from me, and it'll either have one of these articles that I've written for my website about dogs, or it'll have a video. that I've made for the YouTube channel about dogs. And like I say, every 5 or 7 days, you'll get one of those. And I think you'll find it to be a valuable resource. I do a multitude of topics. And, when you get the emails, just open and read the ones that you're interested in and delete the ones that you're not. You can unsubscribe from that at any time. So I would be happy to have you on board as a subscriber. Also, if you liked this video, if it helped you at all, or if you would just like to support my channel, I would appreciate it if you would give it a like. It does help YouTubers when you do that. Also, go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Like I said, I do at least one video a week regarding dogs and cats. And if you hit the notification bell, then you're also going to get a notification every time I do a new video. Usually, also, when I do a new video, I do email my subscribers with it. So if you're on that email subscriber list, you're going to get an email most of the time when I do a new video on YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and go ahead and grab your free gift. And I'm going to ask you to please go ahead and share this video with your friends. Share my peoplelovinganimals.com website. If you have friends who are dog lovers or cat lovers, that it is a valuable resource, and I'm able to help a lot of people with issues that they have with their dog and their cat. And it also helps animals because I donate 10% of all my commissions to animal charities. So everything we do together helps animals. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope that I've helped. Please feel free to come back and comment below the video and let me know which tips you tried, which ones worked, which one didn't. Please come back and give feedback, because it'll help everybody who's watching this video to learn, which things worked and how you made out with your dog. So please go ahead and comment. Again, thanks so much for watching. My name is Deborah, and my website is peoplelovinganimals.com. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.